What's going on, YouTube? Brad with Midwest and the Rest here. I know it's been a while, so I'm going to do a quick update on the KLR. Last time I made a video, I think I talked about the Pelican bags on it and the few mods and farkles that were already done to it. So now I'm going to go over a couple things that I've done myself and talk about some future plans. Here we go. Okay, so one of the handiest things that's been on this bike, which it had when I got it, was these little pigtails right here. So a lot of times I'll come home and I'll plug it into there. Lately I've been riding every day to work and on the weekends too, so it really hasn't been an issue. But I do like to keep it topped off. The guy before had it hooked up all the time, and about 3 weeks after I bought the bike I had to put a new battery in it. So I don't know if it's really good to keep a battery on the tender. I'm sure a lot of you guys know long term if it's hard on a battery or if it's just fine, but the battery was only like a year or two old. The bike's a 2014, late 2014, but I think the battery was newer than that, so I'm not sure about that. But it's been handy. I plug it in if I'm not going to be riding for a few days, or if I do ride every day to work. It's only like 5 miles each way, so every couple days I'll plug it in overnight and just go from there. Alright, and on to the next thing. I don't think I had this last time. It was a cheap mod, whatever. A lot of people use the Pelican cases, which what I have on the side. But I was walking through Home Depot one day, and I saw these weatherproof DeWalt boxes. And I was like, huh, that might be alright on the KLR. And I went ahead and picked one up. I think they were only like 35 bucks. It hasn't been fantastic, but it serves its purpose. It does rattle just a little bit whenever you go over bumps, and I think the rubber gasket is not quite thick enough. It's supposed to be watertight. As you can see, it's got this yellow kind of foam gasket that I assume is supposed to seal on this ridge right here. Well, as you can see, there would be a groove or an indentation, but there's not. But water still doesn't get in. That little ridge, I think, keeps it out. And what I did, sorry it's a mess in here, I kind of keep my little lunch cooler, the receipt, and my toolkit has spilled everywhere. But I just used some self tappers and some large washers. Sorry, like I said, it's a mess in there. Like that. And just drilled right into the existing carrier. I think it's rated for like 35 pounds or something like that. I'm sure I've had more than that because I've got a 3-ball adjustable hitch for my truck that I hauled down to about 3 hours away in this case, and it weighs probably 40 pounds or better. I haven't had any issues. It's pretty watertight. I did have a drink explode in there and it caused a heck of a mess, so I actually thought about drilling a couple holes in the bottom so that way if I ever did want to use it as a cooler or something I could. So that's just an idea, I don't know. One other really cheap mod, so everybody uses the RAM mounts. I wanted one. I wanted to be able to use my phone for GPS while I was riding, be able to see it if I did get a call or something like that. I'm not all that worried about answering a call and Bluetooth and all of that right now. Down the road, yeah, that'd be really nice, but I don't feel like spending a couple, $200, $300, $400 on that. I'd rather spend it on stuff like tires and gas and trips right now. So anyways, instead of a RAM mount, I went to Walmart and bought some heavy duty Velcro with just sticky, whatever you want to say, sticky on one side and Velcro on the other. So I put the fuzzy part on here so that way it wouldn't get all messed up, and then I put the harder part, I stuck it to the back of my phone case, and I'll just stick my phone up there and it works fantastic. It vibrates a little bit going down the road, but I'm not really trying to talk, text, or do anything like that while I'm riding anyways, and it works just great for GPS. So another thing, so the bike came with a stock Dunlop K750s, if I recall correctly. So when I bought it, it had 2,200 miles and a brand new tire on it. At about 1,500 miles past that, I was already displeased with the amount of tread left on the tire. So I decided I wanted to go something that would give me a few more miles, because 2,000 miles of tire, that's just ridiculous. Not even the money aspect, but just the pain in the butt, taking it off, changing the tire, and I felt like 2-3 trips and I was needing to change my tire. So I went with a Shinko 705, which right there has been fantastic so far. I've put quite a few miles on it. I did, as a lot of people do, I don't know, you see the spring here that connects the mid pipe to the muffler. There's one on the bottom, one on the top. Well, I read a lot of reviews that when you try to stretch the top one, it breaks. And I was like, oh, I got this, you know. Nope, she snapped right away. So right now I'm just rocking the bottom spring. I did use some high temp RTV on the joint between the muffler and the mid pipe. And then I also used some high temp RTV up here where the mid pipe, you can't really see that, where the mid pipe meets the header. And it's not in the directions, but I also reused the factory clamp on the where the mid pipe meets the header and use that RTV on there too. I haven't had any leaking issues. You can kind of smell the RTV getting hot and curing the first few times you ride it. I let it go not quite the full 24 hours. I put it on probably 4 or 5 o'clock after work and then rode to work the next day at 6:30 in the morning. So really only 12 or 13 hours, but it's sealed up just fine. Other than that, I think that's about it. I'll give a shout out to, you can see Skunkworks Moto. I was riding down to Arkansas through Missouri, needed a back tire. They closed at like 5 or 6 o'clock. I was rolling through at 7:30 and those guys threw on that new back tire for me. So that was awesome. And then the AE Motorsports, I also did, I guess I forgot a couple of things. Put on, where's it at? That low profile drain plug right here. Because the stock one hangs down lower than the frame rails. Stupid crazy. So that way whenever if you slide over a log or rock or something like that, bam, break your cases. Do want to get a skid plate. I'm still rocking the stock plastic. That's down the road. Oh yeah, and also I put some real, and this is difficult to do, put some real foot pegs on, more motocross style. They're not super sharp or anything like the high-end motocross pegs. Honestly, they're $14 off Amazon, but they kick butt because the first time I took this bike off-road and got my boots muddy and then stepped back on the rubber pegs, slipped. You know what happened after that? Racked myself on the seat. So after that, I was like, all right, definitely gonna have to get some foot pegs. So for 14 bucks, worth every penny. And one mod that everybody says to do after that, which I'm sure I'm gonna do down the road soon, is it really makes the gap between your shifter and your foot peg smaller because the stock foot peg really sits about right here. So it's a little difficult to get your foot in there. I don't have a huge problem with it. I wear like a size 10, 10 and a half. But I will probably get an extended shift lever, just so that way it's a little bit easier. And then if I do want to wear my motocross boots, I'm sure it'd be a bear right now with that amount of space in there. But with work boots, it's manageable. But I think that is everything right now. I threw some Progrip. I can't remember what model they are on, but they've been kick-ass. I mean, I put a lot of miles on. You can't even tell they've worn down. They soak up a lot of vibration. And we're up to 58,627. So that's 3,600 miles since I bought it this year in April. Did an oil change, obviously, when I put the plug in. Other than that, I'm just loving the bike. If you guys have any suggestions for videos, we've got the KLR we can do videos on. We've got the RMZ 250 we can do videos on. I still got the front tire to change on it. We can do some tool videos. I work on heavy equipment all day, so tools are my addiction other than motorcycles. Probably spend more on tools. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Like my video, subscribe. I really want to try to get this channel going. Doing a big ride this weekend called Adventure Palooza, 480 miles there. And then we're going to have camping, live music, and food after everybody arrives. So I'm going to try to get the GoPro hooked back to my helmet. Last time it fudging came off my helmet and swung in front of my face, luckily, and I grabbed it and pulled it off before it fell off and I ran it over. So I'm going to try to get the GoPro going on the helmet do updates on my phone because I found it's way easier to film, edit, post, all of that than my slow laptop trying to SD card, upload it, whatever. But alright guys, let me know. Like I said, like it, subscribe it, give me suggestions, dislike it, tell me how stupid I am, whatever. I'm just here to have fun, and I'll see you guys later.